Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day, my friends. Guys, as always, please subscribe, give the video a like, leave me a comment if you'd be so kind. Let me know where you're at, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might benefit from it. Guys, we're recording a little bit early again today. I'm in the middle of my 3-day hypnosis seminar, and we're breaking for lunch, so I'm going to do my video now. And as a matter of fact, I was just 10 minutes in, and my phone just randomly cut out. And rather than trying to figure out how to edit and end onto it, I'm just going to start fresh. So today's video, we're going to talk about the Just for Today NA meditation, like I do most days. And today's an amazing one. It's literally my life. Our higher power's will was the topic, and it goes on to say that God's will for us becomes our true will for ourselves. And the affirmation is, today I will seek to strengthen my relationship with my higher power, knowing that my higher power's will provides a sense of clarity, direction, and peace. And guys, I couldn't sum up the last 4 months of my life any better than that, right? Those of you that are new, welcome. I've noticed quite the increase. Crazy, but 20, 30 new subscribers in this last week, which is amazing to me. Thank you all so very much. It means the absolute world, and it just lets me know that maybe I'm adding some value here, and I certainly hope so. Those of you that are new, by all means, go back, and you don't have to look. I got 130 videos out here. You don't have to watch them all, but if you want to see where it is I'm comparing myself from, I do have a couple of videos called My Testimony and My Testimony to the Dark Days. That is basically me telling the abridged story of my walk through addiction in my early childhood, and that gives you something to compare to where I'm at today. Anyway, that being said, guys, for me, as I've started my spiritual awakening, again, I talked about before, this all started one night when I was still actively using drugs, and I just, my life was quickly coming to a crash. It was getting to that point where I was 3-4 months behind in rent, and I was getting, threats from the landlord, and I was in a bad place. I was, borrowing favors and owing everything, and even my paycheck wasn't getting me through fucking the day on Friday, and I was barely holding my bullshit together, and it was quickly coming to a head. But the difference is I had started praying, and it was starting to, it was making me become introspective and looking at what I was doing and starting to say, before this all completely comes off the rails, I've got to just give in. And because I was getting responses from God, and again, not getting a conversation with God, but He was giving me the other side of things. As I was asking questions, I was getting answers, and in the form of thoughts and feelings, and whatever, you'll figure your way out. But I knew everything was saying, put down the drugs, put down the drugs, put down the drugs. And I actually tried to do it myself, and again, we talked about that. I ended up in the hospital. Anyway, as I got to rehab and I started to get clear, I said, wow, that actually worked. This is the first time I ever walked into rehab without having, come out of a prison and needing a home or needing a halfway house so I could build, blah, 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 blah. This is the first time I literally walked in dirty and said, I just want to drop the drugs and, try over and start. And that was because I started praying. So I started reading books about scientific prayer, and I started praying more. And again, find your path. It doesn't have to look like mine. But guys, I got a 14-page spread that I lay out on my bed every night, and I have all these handwritten, and then regular prayers that I pick up along the way, and just my prayers. And they're basically all just giving thanks and asking God to show me His path for me and to help me become a better person and carry a better message that I might impact others and sway others to put down the drugs, because again, this is my thing. And fighting addiction, it's my history. It's literally owned 40 years of my life. I'm going to spend the next 40 owning its life. And that makes me happy with who I am. That gives my life purpose. It makes me appreciate what I'm doing, and it makes me change every action I have and every thought I have throughout the day. And it's all happened because I've developed a relationship with my higher power, whom I choose to call God. Call yours what you will. But it's huge, guys. And then I've stepped that up, and I've got into meditation, and now I'm doing hypnosis, and I listen to subliminals at night. And it's funny, at one point I got a notification on my phone that I'm approaching something like 13 hours a day of screen time, and I'm like, how is that possible? I'm like, God, it scared me for a second, but then I realized I'm getting 10 hours a night of listening to subliminals and stuff. I'm like, oh my, Okay, seriously, I thought I was going to need a digital detox when I first saw that notification. I'm like, 13 hours a day of digital. But again, I'm listening. My phone is playing subliminals all night long while I sleep. And my headphones cut out after so long, but, I don't listen to it all night. But anyway, I get a good 3 or 4 hours of it every night when I go to sleep. And it's helping program the person that I am. It's helping me love the person I am. It's helping me reach new heights, and it's helping me find ways. And again, I go out and I do Tony Robbins seminars. I'm doing a Dom the Hypnotist seminar right now. We're on lunch break right now, and it's fantastic, guys, right? And I love something Dean Graziosi was talking about yesterday. A woman was asking, "Oh, I want to start a coaching business, but how do I know, how much information to give out and for free, and then still hold something back to sell?" And guys, I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to share what has been so freely given to me, and then everything I'm learning throughout the day, so that I can carry a better message. And that's what I ask God for every day, is to help me learn something new every day so I can share a positive message with you guys. I'm building a free, safe space where everybody can have hope. And because you all have hope. And beyond hope, I want you to know, by watching what I've done, knowing if I can do it, there's nothing special about me, guys. I'm somebody that's been through the worst of the worst. But I made the decision to give the light a chance, to give myself a chance, and to invest and pour into me and make myself the best version I could. And every day I get a little bit better. And my life is being changed dramatically for the better. I mean, amazingly, beautifully. And I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, and I don't need to. All I know is I got to wake up tomorrow. All I know is I woke up today. I'm going to stay sober for today. I'm going to learn. I'm going to absorb positive things. I'm going to help anybody around me that I possibly can. I'm going to encourage everybody I run into, and uplift anybody I can, and do my work, and do, keep balance. Like today, I worked half a day because I'm doing the a 9-hour sleep hypnosis seminar, not sleep rather. And we're on lunch break right now, so I'm getting my video posted in the meantime, and I'll make a quick sandwich. It's Pacific time to Eastern time, so my dinner's their lunch. And I'm finding balance, guys, for the things that are important to me, because this channel is very important to me. This channel is what keeps me sober and keeps me coming back every day, keeps me meeting new people, it keeps me proud of the person that I'm becoming. And literally, you can all do this, guys. You're gonna, again, your path may look different than mine. It doesn't have to, but just take, it all starts with you building your relationship with your higher power, and then building your relationship with yourself. And if you can do those two things, then you'll start getting good ideas, positive reinforcement from yourself, from the universe, from signs and synchronicities around you, and then you take action on those. Guys, I talk about it every day, action. And that's the biggest thing, guys. I used to absorb these things. I was literally an absolutely useless ball of information, because I've always absorbed information, but I wasn't taking action on it because I wasn't giving myself the chance. I wasn't investing in me. I was running myself ragged, trying to appease everybody else, and then just getting bowled over by life. Today I put me first, right? I stop and I figure out what it is that I need to make me the best version of me, and then I try to help those who are trying to help themselves, or are deserving of help, or cannot help themselves, but not those that are standing there just looking for a handout, right? You gotta use your discernment and know what's right and what's not, and what's real and what isn't, and where your energy deserves. And again, but you only do this after you fill your own cup. And you fill your own cup, whatever, you find your way. But for me, I found that and here's the other thing, guys, I'm getting way off topic, I'm sorry. The reason I've started asking God for His will for my life as opposed to my own, because particularly in the very early, and again, I'm spending this whole weekend working on removing my limited beliefs and my subconscious blocks. And I knew I was so full of them early on, after being medicated for 40 years, that I didn't know what mattered, and I didn't know what path to take or what to do. So I leaned into my higher power, and I asked God to show me just literally one step, 1 minute at a time. And guys, literally opportunities just fell in front of me, like exactly what I needed. And now I'm as time goes on and I get stronger and I learn more opportunities and more decisions are getting made, better decisions, right? But this is all happening because I removed my limited beliefs temporarily from the equation. I still lean into God's will for me, because I know God knows what I'm capable of better than I do. God doesn't have the limiting beliefs governing Him the way that I do. my self-doubt, my insecurity, guys, if it was literally just up to me, I would have never got on camera because I got no teeth in my mouth and I don't talk properly and it bothers me and I'm very insecure about it and I don't like the way that my face looks because of it. But you know what? I started that 3 months ago, right? And the progression in this last 3 months, thank God that I did, because otherwise I'd be getting on camera now and I look like a healthy human being. I didn't 3 months ago, right? I've got I'm within 1 week of having my new smile, and then that's amazing to me, right? And then never got mind the progression of everything else that happened. When I started the process with the teeth a couple months ago, they donated 2/3 of the money, which was absolutely amazing. But I still had to take on I don't know, whatever, a couple $1,000s, right? And I made a down payment, and I was so happy. I'm like, wow, literally 2 hours before it happened, I wouldn't have had that down payment. But God's feeding me just what I needed, right? Because I was still weak at that point. I was still learning, and I'm still progressing. Now here it is, but again, it grows exponentially, right? Now here it is, and again, that's something I took into consideration. I said, well, I got issues with money. Let me start doing some money mindset work, okay? And I've been doing that, and as I've done so, my business has grown, and I found other avenues that have been positive, not taking away from anybody, but to make myself money. And when I set up my monthly payment, I was a little concerned. I'm like, okay, well, I'll pay attention and make sure that $200 is there. Guys, it came out yesterday, and I didn't even notice it, right? I got an email later on. I'm like, oh. And, that's again, I'm not bawling, but this is the progression that I'm making. What 2 months ago was a major concern doesn't matter today. I didn't even notice it. That's because I've allowed God's will for me to prevail over my own limited belief system. And now I'm starting to get strong. Now I'm starting to see that I have been holding myself back and I don't want to do that anymore, which is why I'm doing the seminars that I'm doing. And I'm taking action on the stuff that I learned, and I'm sharing it freely with others. I paid $500 for this hypnosis course, and I'm going to share everything I learned with you guys for free. I'm not doing any of this to go out and sell any of you anything. This is always going to be a safe place where every service here is free, because my life has been given to me freely. And it's funny, 1212 on the timer as I say that. And that's, angel numbers, guys. And that's, actually, here you go. I say little things, and I'm like, I don't want to share everything. Guys, there's messages in everything when you're looking to see them. And one of the things that I do for me is I end my video when it ends. I don't, prepare a time, as you guys know, because I'm usually way over what I expected to be anyway. But the next day, I take the timestamp of the video from the day before, and I punch it into Google, and I look up the angel number. And it's amazing to me how much they correspond with the message of the day, how I'm feeling, where I'm at, what my next steps need to be. It's amazing how intentional and how synchronized everything is when you're paying attention to it, when you're living a spiritual existence and going through a spiritual awakening. And it's the most amazing, fastest way to turn your life around. Again, your path may be different. You may way exceed me. You might blow by me. It may be totally different. But if you do the action steps, if you do these things in the way they need to be done, and you take initiative and you take action after you've healed, and you always put yourself first, but then you always help others with the overflow, I promise you it'll work better than you could possibly imagine. We're going to leave it at that. I'm afraid the phone's going to cut out again. We're going to leave it at that for today, guys. As always, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so very much for being here. This is just getting better and better all the time, and I love each and every one of you. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow.